he's the most scary contender we've had for a while because there are just so many unknowns. Like, you know, when I was a kid and I would watch The Undertaking, he's from Parts Unknown or Death Valley. Mankind was from Parts Unknown. I'm like, where's this dude from? Even though I knew he was Cactus Jack. I knew he was Cactus Jack. I knew underneath it all it was Cactus Jack. But it was like, what is this? Like, it's like Khamzat. There's just so many questions. And every time he comes in, he dominates, he's gone.
Many UFC legends and high-profile figures haven't hesitated to share their thoughts on Khamzat Chimaev's rise to greatness. It's already common knowledge that Chimaev stands among the top fighters in today's UFC landscape. However, some of the sport's most respected voices believe his legacy could extend far beyond that, potentially cementing him as one of the greatest athletes ever to step into the octagon. Back in 2022, Daniel Cormier made headlines when he labeled Chimaev the most dangerous contender we've seen in years. That statement has continued to circulate in MMA discussions, and in 2025, it feels more accurate than ever. Chimaev's impressive victory over Robert Whittaker at UFC 308 and his decisive finish of Kamaru Usman at UFC 294 have only strengthened the case. What once sounded like bold talk from Cormier now seems more like a prediction coming true.
The guy at welterweight, is he going to be the guy to dethrone Kamaru Usman?
I think he's the scariest contender we have seen for a while. And look,
Cormier went on to elaborate, explaining that while he enjoyed Chimaev's friendly dynamic with Darren Till, he believed it might not be the best approach. In his view, maintaining an air of mystery would serve Chimaev better. If I were Khamzat, I'd reveal as little as possible, because the unknown makes him even more intimidating, Cormier suggested. This insight reinforced Cormier's main point, that a significant part of Chimaev's danger comes from his rarity in appearances, his unpredictability, and his overwhelming dominance inside the cage.
Buddy thing with Darren Till, I think it's a mistake. I think he should continue to be a mystery to people. I think he should spend as little time in front of the public and showing who he is, pulling the curtain back. I would pull the curtain back as little as I could if I'm Khamzat, just because the mystery is good for him. But yes, he's very scary. To say anyone will knock off Kamaru Usman is...
Joe Rogan shared a similar sense of concern in his own analysis, remarking on a podcast that once Chimaev gets hold of an opponent, the situation becomes extremely dangerous. Rogan emphasized that if Chimaev earns a title shot, it's practically unavoidable, pointing out how he dismantled his last opponent without taking any significant damage, finishing the fight with a first-round submission. Rogan described Chimaev as truly terrifying, praising his world-class grappling skills and relentless approach. He noted that it's not just the wrestling ability that stands out, but the way Chimaev completely dominates even top-tier competition without being tested.
From downtown, too. He shot
fast.
so far out.
Once he gets a hold of you, it's so dangerous.
He just needs to get his paws.
Okay, here we go. Here we go, right here. Right. See, it's around the mouth.
That's around the mouth. That's around the jaw.
That was
That's
weird.
around the jaw.
Rio de Io. He might be the guy, dude.
He might be that guy. And this is the best time to be a fan. When the guy's coming up, there's nothing better.
And here, think about this, 85, right? So this guy was killing himself to get to 70. At 85, he's the fucking man.
In another episode of his show, Joe Rogan described Chimaev as a terrifying human being, crediting him with tossing opponents around and outclassing even high-level wrestlers during training. The way Rogan painted the picture was vivid and sincere. This wasn't promotional hype, but fear based on first-hand observation. Brendan Schaub also shared his perspective, recalling a story from Darren Till about seeing Chimaev in the gym. "Holy, Khamzat is the real deal," Schaub remembered Till saying. Schaub added his own reaction, describing how Chimaev glanced at him mid-sparring. "I acted like I wasn't watching, just stared at the wall. I felt so uneasy, and he was only warming up." That moment, Schaub explained, perfectly captured the intimidating aura Chimaev carries, even among elite fighters. These kinds of accounts, from podcasts, broadcast clips, and post-fight interviews, all lead to one undeniable conclusion. Very few fighters inspire this level of fear. Daniel Cormier's statement, "I do believe he's the scariest contender we've seen in a long time," reflects how Chimaev has exceeded the usual standard for top contenders. Rogan's repeated remarks, from "he didn't get touched" to "that grappling is next level," underscore an assessment grounded in actual performance inside the octagon. Schaub's story adds another layer, showing that the intimidation factor extends beyond opponents in the cage to the very atmosphere in the gym.
Scary contender we've had for a while because there are just so many unknowns. Like, when I was a kid and I would watch The Undertaking, he's from Parts Unknown or Death Valley. Mankind was from Parts Unknown. I'm like, where's this dude from? Even though I knew he was Cactus Jack. I knew he was Cactus Jack. I knew underneath it all it was Cactus Jack. But it was like, what is this? Like, it's like Khamzat. There's just so many questions. And every time he comes in, he dominates, he's gone. Now, I love the whole buddy thing with Darren Till. I think it's a mistake. I think he should continue to be a mystery to people. I think he should spend as little time in front of the public and showing who he is.
As of August 6th, 2025, Khamzat Chimaev still boasts an unblemished professional record of 14-0, with 8 of those victories coming by way of UFC finishes, many in high-profile bouts. His next challenge comes at UFC 319, where he will face Dricus du Plessis for the middleweight championship, a clash fans have been anticipating ever since Chimaev's rapid rise through the ranks. In the build-up to the fight, comments from UFC legends have resurfaced across promotional videos, analyst breakdowns, and viral social media clips. Chimaev isn't just seen as the favorite, he's earned the reputation of being the sport's boogeyman. Analysts compare his sheer physical dominance over fighters like Robert Whittaker and Kamaru Usman to the kind of authority usually associated with champions who built their legacies over decades. Daniel Cormier's early praise, calling Chimaev the scariest contender in years, is now backed by a track record that fully supports that claim. Joe Rogan's take: once he gets a hold of you, he strangled him in the first round, leaves little doubt about just how dangerous Chimaev truly is inside the octagon.
The scariest guy in the UFC, or one of the scariest, is from Chechnya, Khamzat Chimaev. He is a fucking animal. The amount of fucking grappling power you have to ragdoll Kevin Holland like this is insane. I mean, this is crazy grappling ability. The way he rotates with him, and here it is. Here's the Darce. So he sinks up the choke and slides it through. Watch his right hand. His right hand's going to reach forward and grab a hold of his bicep. Watch how this is when he senses it. See it slides down?
Yeah.
When the right hand, right now it's still open. Now it clamps. Now it's on the bicep.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That's the choke. The choke's fully locked in now, and Kevin's...
God damn.
Brendan Schaub's remarks, in contrast, highlight how Chimaev's presence is felt on a personal level by fellow fighters, an intangible aura that can't be captured by statistics alone. It's something experienced, not just measured. With UFC 319 set for August 16th in Chicago, the excitement surrounding the bout has taken on an almost ominous tone. Fight breakdowns across YouTube and official UFC promo reels continue to replay Cormier's and Rogan's words, amplifying the narrative. Chimaev's reputation alone is enough to fuel ticket sales and online buzz. Across the cage from him will be Dricus du Plessis, a reigning champion with an exceptional gas tank, an unpredictable rhythm, and a record of finishing some of the sport's most dangerous strikers. Yet, within the UFC community, there's a prevailing belief that this matchup is about more than skill. It's a test of limits, both physical and mental.
Of the moment, I feel like DDP Khamzat is one of the greatest middleweight competitions to ever happen in the UFC. You got Khamzat undefeated, boogeyman, DDP already a middleweight great in the prime of his career. I have no clue how this is going to fold out. No clue. Gun to the head, DDP is so good, so durable, so big, and just finds a way to win. He's just an absolute winner. He's one of my faves. And he's so unorthodox. And they have Khamzat, this boogeyman. Obviously, cardio was an issue for him back in the day. I'm here to tell you now, I've personally, with these peepers, have seen the man train. Cardio is not an issue. But that's all predicated on, let's say Khamzat goes in there and tries to get DDP down in the first 2 rounds and can't get it done, and he gets tired. DDP in that 3rd, 4th, and 5th will finish him, you know? So I'm interested to see what
If Daniel Cormier is accurate in his assessment of Chimaev's fear factor, and Joe Rogan is right about the unmatched danger of his grappling, then Dricus du Plessis faces more than just a technical challenge. He must also confront the psychological weight of stepping into the octagon against a man the sport's legends describe as a monster. It's a rare scenario, where the fight begins long before the opening bell, and the mental battle is just as formidable as the physical one.
It's tremendous. He's got the swagger. He's got the fighting ability. I'm a fan. I'm a massive fan of Khamzat.
I would love to sit in that fighter meeting when you guys get to do the interview with those guys before the fight, man. I would love to see that conversation.
When you put all these assessments side by side, the picture becomes hard to ignore. Khamzat Chimaev is performing at a level that few in MMA history have ever reached. His relentless wrestling pressure, fight-ending combinations, and sheer ferocity have been used as benchmarks by UFC legends themselves. As analysts break down the upcoming Chimaev versus Duplessis showdown, the conversation has shifted. The question is no longer if he's good. It's how great he might be. Can Duplessis survive the storm that Cormier warns about? Will the reigning middleweight champion create scrambles, drag the fight deep, and test Chimaev's endurance? Or will Chimaev claim another high-profile finish in the opening rounds? Right now, the prevailing narrative is simple. Chimaev is the real deal, and some of the most respected voices in the sport are telling you why. If he dismantles Duplessis the way he did Whitaker, those quotes will be remembered for years. But if Duplessis pulls off the upset, he won't just keep his belt. He'll silence some of the sport's loudest believers. Either way, August 16th won't just close a chapter. It will either cement or rewrite a legacy that UFC legends predicted before most people even saw it coming.